Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Peter. In this video I'll show you how to tune an FX DRS. When talking about the FX DRS, there are a few different options. I have 4 of them right here, and the reason I want to show you these is because tuning these guns is basically exactly the same. The first gun I want to show you is the DRS Tactical. It has a 500mm barrel, and if you want to know more about this, I want you to go back to my channel and check out a video I did about this just recently. The next one is the model in the walnut stock. It has a 500mm barrel, and I actually think this is the most beautiful gun in the whole world. Next up is the one in the synthetic stock. This one has a 600mm barrel, and as you can see, it has a slightly bigger plenum. The last one I want to show you is the big boy, the DRS Pro with the 700mm barrel in the MDC chassis. Before we start the tuning process, there is one thing I want to talk about. Quote, in order to tune the FX DRS, you have to take the whole gun apart. That's not entirely true, but there's a grain of truth to it anyway. The DRS Pro is by far the easiest one to access, because in order to access the hammer adjustment, there's a hole right here. But if you want to adjust the regulator pressure, you do have to take it out of the chassis. In this model, it's just to release 2 screws, so that's pretty simple. These ones, the ones in the synthetic stock and one in the walnut stock, it's actually just to take out one screw here, and then you can access both the hammer tension and the regulator screw. It's not the same as in the Pro, because in these ones you do have to take it out of the stock to access the hammer tension. The last one is the DRS Tactical, and it actually it takes a bit of effort to access both the hammer adjustment and the regulator. If you want to go for the hammer tension alone, you need to remove 5 screws. It's one up here on the Picatinny rail. You need to take out the grip, and underneath the grip there are 3 screws, and when you've done that, you can take out the entire buttstock section. It sounds complicated, but it's actually not. I think it takes maybe 2 minutes, and then you're ready to start adjusting. But if you want to access the regulator screw, you need to take off the optics, 3 more screws here on through the Picatinny rail, and 2 screws right down here. And after that, there's 1 screw down here as well. And when you've done that, you can take the action out of the chassis, and you're ready to tune. It sounds complicated, yes, I know, but 3 minutes and you're ready to tune your gun. When you receive your DRS, there's no regulator gauge installed, but depending on the plenum, it is possible to add one. The ones with the big plenum, like you see here, it has holes on the side here, and this is where you can actually mount the angle gauge mount from FX. On the DRS Tactical, let me see if we can see it here. You can mount one right down here. If we can't see it on the film, I'll make sure to place a picture. And on the one with the small plenum, it is prepared for it in here. As I can see, it can't be installed on the gun permanently, but you can definitely add one in the tuning process. Last one I want to show you is actually the same as the one in the walnut stock, because here on the DRS Pro there are also holes for an angle gauge mount right here. But since the DRS comes without this regulator gauge, and people say that, oh, it's it's oh so bad. I'll actually show you how to tune your gun without even using a regulator gauge. The gun that I'll be using for the tuning session today is the one in the walnut stock, and I have to admit that I'm getting some kind of love relationship to this gun, so I think that's why it made the cut in front of all the others. There is of course a tuning process of the DRS Pro, but because Matt Dobber did such an excellent video about that, I'm not gonna pretend to be smarter than him. So I'll stick to this one with the small plenum. Before you go into the tuning process, there are a few things you need to consider. One of them obviously being which kind of ammo you'll be using, and the one that I've chosen for this one is the JSB Heavy. I think, yeah, it's right here, the JSB Heavy. It weighs in at 10.3 grains, and because I'm choosing a pellet is because of the short barrel and the small plenum. It doesn't take much power to launch a pellet in that size. But if you were to shoot something heavier, I would be very comfortable to shoot both the JSB Monster, maybe even the JSB Beast. And if I was to consider slugs, I would probably go for nothing heavier than 13 grains, and I actually have a plan in the very near future to test the 10 grainers, because I've never tested those in the STX Superior liner. Talking about the other barrel lengths, 600 millimeter. When you order a DRS in a 600 millimeter, it comes with an STX Superior liner as well. And in that one, I think I would mainly shoot slugs, and I think I'll stick to the slugs around 13 grains, perhaps up to 15 grains. But I think the one that would fit the 600 millimeter liner the best is perhaps the 13 grain from San or the GSP Knockout. If you order a DRS with the 700 millimeter liner, you will get a 700 millimeter heavy liner, and that is for slugs. If you want to shoot pellets in that, it will do it very well. I've shot the GSB Beast 16 grains pellet in it, and it shoots it extremely well. But the one that I would definitely go for in that liner is the 16 grainers from San. But when you have chosen your ammunition, like I have here, the 10 grain heavy from GSB, it's a matter of finding the velocity you want to shoot it at. There are two ways of doing this. The first one is to ask the internet, and I will assure you that you'll get all kinds of velocities where it will be hole in hole. I just want to warn you, because people saying that they're shooting hole in hole, it might be at 20 yards or something. And I mean, I can throw a rock in and make hole in hole at 20 yards. So yeah, just consider who you're listening to. And the best way is actually, this is the second option, it is to find the right velocity all by yourself. And that's what I'll show you today. So first up, I'll see where the gun's at, because in the DRS, it is very much dependent on where you have your regulator. So I'll refer to a maximum velocity, and that is not like the maximum velocity of the gun itself. It is the maximum velocity at a given regulator setting. Okay, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Right now, I've just twist and turned everything here on the gun, so I know that it's completely out of tune, but just to prepare you and show you the true process of tuning a gun, that's why I did this. So Right now I'll make the gun ready. First up, I'll remove it from the stock. Taking a, what is it, a 4mm Allen key. Remove the screw here and take it out of the stock. And talking about how complicated this whole tuning process is, because you can't access the hammer tension and the regulator, you can see that's how easy it was to take it out of the stock. So now I want to find the maximum velocity at this regulator setting. And you know, because I don't have a gauge on it, I don't know what the regulator setting is, but actually saying that it doesn't really matter. But the way that I'll do this is to, of course, use my chronograph. This is very important in any tuning process. You always use a chronograph. So now with the magazine installed, let's see how fast we can get the gun to shoot with this regulator setting.
833.
So now we take an Allen key and start adjusting the hammer tension. When it's so low, I don't mind giving it like a few clicks at a time. And to increase the tension of the hammer spring, you want to turn it clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 clicks. I'll just take one more. 900. I'll give it 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks again. 926, and you can see already here it's much too fast for this pellet. But I just want to explore what the maximum velocity at this regulator setting is. So I'll give it 4 more clicks. So that's not much of an increase by 4 clicks. So I'll just give it 1 more, because I think we are very close to the maximum.
935.
Now you can see that the velocity starts to drop, and that's because we have reached the maximum velocity at this regulator setting. So please bear this in mind. Every time I refer to the maximum velocity, this is it. So if I was to turn to give it more tension on the hammer spring right now, I would probably see that the velocity starts to drop off. Because I know that this velocity is too high, I'll need to reduce the pressure on the regulator. And there will be many people saying that now you can just adjust the regulator screw just by small increments at the time, and thereby reduce the regulator pressure. But because I have only had bad experiences by doing this, and because I just need to, I want to play it safe, I always degas my my system completely when I'm reducing the regulator. So that's what I'll I'll do now. Turn off all this. As you can see, I'm using the pressure gauge here to release the pressure, but to make sure that all the air has been removed from the system, I always release the adjuster screw on the regulator. I don't know if you could hear this, but there was a small hiss of air leaving the plenum. So now with the system completely degassed, I am turning in the regulator screw, and that's clockwise, and that's the way the rotation you never want to do with the when the gun is pressurized. So to decrease the pressure on the regulator, I'm giving it like a bit more, maybe a 1.5 turn in. And after doing that, I want to make sure that the pressure gauge is tightened up again. So now it's just to put some pressure. There. So now with the system fully pressurized, it's time to see what the maximum velocity is at this regulator setting, because I know that the hammer tension is way too high for this lower regulator setting. I'll decrease it by quite a lot, and by decreasing the hammer tension, I'll turn it counterclockwise and give it like a lot. So that's maybe 10-15 clicks. So now it's time to determine what the maximum velocity of this regulator setting is. And the thing about these DRSs is you want the velocity that you're shooting at, the desired velocity, to be very close to the maximum velocity of the regulator setting. So now let's see where we're at.
828.
So that was a bit low. I'll just give it one more.
823.
Okay, 823. That's perhaps a bit too slow, but anyway, we're looking for the maximum velocity. So, giving it 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks, and see. 826. So this tells us that the regulator setting is still too low, because the velocity I'm looking at is velocities between, say, maybe 840 and 900 feet per second. So now increasing the pressure on the regulator by releasing it just a bit. And when I'm putting or adding pressure on the regulator now, it's just very, very small turns. I'm talking like perhaps 5 minutes of a full turn, not more than that. So now let's see what the velocity is at now. Just adding a new magazine. I think my goal for this tuning process will maybe be around 880. So let's see where we're at.
840.
840. I'll give it 2 clicks more on the hammer system, or on the hammer spring.
835.
It actually dropped a bit, so maybe I'm I'm already at the maximum. I'll just give it one more click to be sure that I got the right reading.
835.
So I did. So now I want to add some more pressure on the regulator. Still just 5 minutes of turn. Actually just reducing the pressure on the hammer spring a bit. So now let's see where we're at.
844.
So now we're climbing. I'm giving it 2 more clicks on the hammer.
840.
So that's the maximum. You can see that I'm not actually increasing the velocity by much, because I don't want to suddenly go like 10-15 feet per second faster than I want to be at. So now at 840, increasing the pressure on the regulator again by 5 minutes. So let's see where we're at. Just reducing the hammer a bit, and let's see. So with the target of 860, I would say we're pretty close. So let's see what's happening when we're increasing the hammer spring just by 2 clicks.
861.
I think I'll give it just one more, but I think the maximum velocity is around 860 here.
856.
Yes. So you can see the velocity went down after the last 2 clicks. So that tells us that our maximum velocity at this regulator setting is around 860. You can see I'm making this a slow process, but as I said before, I don't want the velocity suddenly to race off, so I have to degas the whole system again and turn down the regulator. So increasing the regulator pressure once again. So now let's see where we're at.
$870.
870. Giving it one more click.
856.
That seemed like we were at maximum velocity at 870. I'll just I'll take one more shot to be sure.
858.
So releasing the tension on the hammer spring again, turning up the regulator once again. And because I released the tension on the hammer spring by quite a few clicks, the first shot might be a bit low.
875.
And it was not. Now I'll increase by 2 clicks.
865.
So it dropped again. So in order to reach the maximum velocity of around 880, I'll just need to give it just a little bit more on the regulator. But since I know pretty much what velocity I want to shoot at, I'm not taking my time to test for accuracy at each velocity along the way. But if you had no idea on what velocity that you're aiming for, I would definitely recommend you to test the accuracy at each velocity. So maybe at 840, and then when you reach the maximum of 850, check it there as well, and so on. So now that I'm close to 880, I'll start to see if the velocity, if the accuracy is starting to be there. So now let's see. And it didn't read because I had the chronograph on the wrong side. Once again.
881.
881. So now we're just about there. So now let's turn up the hammer spring and see what the maximum velocity really is. I gave it 2 clicks on the hammer spring.
881.
And you know, I actually think that the maximum velocity is now at 881 feet per second, as I wanted it to be. So that's when I'll mount the stock again. Remove the fill probe. Like that. And mount the stock. So now I'll see if the accuracy is as I want it to be. I'm fiddling a bit because this is not my usually setup. Let's see what the regulators. There's enough pressure for at least 10 shots here. So now let's see what the accuracy is like. Yeah, accuracy is definitely there. This is not a video about accuracy, but as you could hear, and as you can see here, I'm just taking a screenshot. The spread of this is just amazing. The last 5 shots were within. Let's see if it actually was only the last few shots, but they were within 2 feet per second. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 6 shots were within 2 feet per second, and that is absolutely amazing. And this is what you get when you tune your DRS like this. Finding the maximum velocity of the given regulator setting and then getting very, very close to that. That's where your DRS will perform the best. So right now, what I'll do is to keep on shooting here at this velocity, and if I get the accuracy that I want, that's the way I'll leave it, and I don't ever have to take it out of the stock again. But if I want to experiment a bit with perhaps a bit higher velocity, I'll just remove the screw here and continue the process of giving the regulator more pressure and increasing the hammer spring. So yeah, that's how you tune your DRS, and that's whether it's this one with the 500mm barrel and the small plenum, or if it's a DRS Pro with the big plenum and the long barrel. So I hope that you can use this tuning instruction for shooting and making your DRS accurate. And remember, you are very welcome to ask questions in the comment section below. But make sure to watch the entire video before doing this, because if you're asking questions and they're already answered in the video, I might not take the time to give you an answer. So if I'm not answering, just watch the video once again. So that's all I had to say. Hope this was helpful. So until next time, take care and shoot safe.